There's something that companies building workforce automation software really don't want you to know about who their products are designed to sideline. They've spent billions telling you it's about efficiency and augmentation. Here's the question they're afraid of. What happens when an algorithm decides your entire economic value, and you can never see the formula, never appeal the decision, and never even know it happened? In 2023, Amazon quietly deployed an internal tool that didn't just track warehouse worker productivity, it automatically generated termination notices. No human manager, no conversation, no warning. One moment you're packing boxes, the next you're locked out of the system. An alert pops up on a screen somewhere in Seattle. Associate number 84721, productivity below threshold, contract terminated. And that's it. That's the entire process. Here's the number that should terrify you. According to a 2024 report by the Brookings Institution, over 70% of Fortune 500 companies now use some form of AI-driven hiring, evaluation, or termination system. 70%. These are not experimental tools. They are infrastructure, and they are making decisions about your career, your credit, your access to healthcare, right now, without a single human being required to sign off. Cathy O'Neil, data scientist and author of Weapons of Math Destruction, put it bluntly, algorithms are opinions embedded in code. The problem is, those opinions belong to people you will never meet, who have never met you, and whose incentives are not aligned with yours. They're aligned with cost reduction, and you, in this equation, are the cost. Let me show you exactly how this works. When a company like Workday or HireVue sells an AI recruitment platform to a large employer, what they're really selling is a system that takes your resume, your video interview, your application, and reduces it to a number. The system isn't looking for competence, it's looking for pattern matching. Did you use certain words in your resume? Did your video interview show the correct micro-expressions? Did your voice tone match the successful employees it was trained on? The successful employees who, statistically, are overwhelmingly white, male, and from a narrow set of universities. This is where the feedback loop becomes a death spiral. In 2018, Reuters exposed that Amazon's own AI recruiting tool had taught itself that male candidates were preferable because it was trained on 10 years of hiring data from a company that had been run almost entirely by men. It penalized resumes that contained the word women's, as in women's chess club captain. It downgraded graduates of all women's colleges. Amazon scrapped that specific tool after the Reuters report. But here's what they don't tell you. The fundamental architecture didn't change. The industry learned to hide the bias better, not eliminate it. They swapped obvious words for subtle proxies. Zip codes, browser types, typing speed during the application, how long you hover over certain buttons. None of these are protected characteristics under discrimination law. All of them correlate with race, class, and gender. But this goes far deeper than hiring. What happens when the same algorithmic logic determines who gets a mortgage, who gets parole, who gets into college, and who gets flagged as a high-risk patient? Consider what's already happened. In 2019, a study published in Science found that a widely used hospital algorithm was systematically giving healthier white patients the same risk scores as sicker black patients, meaning black patients had to be objectively much sicker to receive the same level of care. The algorithm wasn't measuring illness, it was measuring healthcare spending. And in America, white patients, statistically, have more money spent on their healthcare. The algorithm simply reproduced the inequality baked into the system and called it science. The United Nations Special Rapporteur on Extreme Poverty, Philip Alston, visited America and declared something that should have been a front-page scandal. The United States is creating a digital welfare state in which the poor are managed by algorithms. Managed, not helped, not supported. Managed and like inventory. And now we arrive at the part that should genuinely keep you up at night. Because the darkest implication of automated inequality isn't that it's unfair, it's that it's designed to be invisible, unappealable, and permanent. Here's the forbidden knowledge. The system is working exactly as designed. When a working-class applicant is rejected by an AI hiring tool, there is no appeals process. Not because the company is cruel. Because appeals are expensive, and this person, this rejected person, was already classified as low value. Why would you spend resources on someone the system has determined isn't worth investing in? Virginia Eubanks, author of Automating Inequality, documented what she calls the digital poorhouse, a system where the people with the least power are subjected to the highest degree of automated surveillance and decision-making. Rich people get human caseworkers, human loan officers, human doctors making judgment calls. Poor people get chatbots, automated denials, and algorithmically generated care plans. The wealthier you are, the more human your treatment. The poorer you are, the more you interact with machines that were programmed to say no. This is not a bug. This is the system, and it's not science fiction. It's right now. In 2024, a ProPublica investigation found that United Healthcare used an AI algorithm to deny rehabilitation care to elderly patients. The algorithm had a 90% error rate when its decisions were challenged, but fewer than 0.2% of patients ever filed an appeal. Because, of course, the system that processes appeals is also automated. Here's what I actually believe. We are not passive victims of technology. We are making choices every day in boardrooms and legislative chambers and product meetings about who gets to remain human in an automated world. The European Union's AI Act, passed in 2024, is the first real attempt to draw a line, to say that certain algorithmic decisions about people's lives require explanation, require appeal, require a human in the loop. It's imperfect. It has loopholes you could drive a truck through. But it proves something essential. This is a political choice, not a technological inevitability. You have the right to know when a machine is making a decision about you. You have the right to understand how that decision was made. And most fundamentally, you have the right to say, no. I want a human being to look me in the eye and explain why. If we don't demand that right, loudly, repeatedly, across every industry where algorithms have replaced human judgment, we will wake up in a world where your entire life trajectory is determined by a score you can't see, can't challenge, and can't escape. And at that point, we won't be living in a society with inequality. We'll be living in a caste system with a software license. Next week, we're going deeper. If automated inequality is the how, digital feudalism is the where. What happens when you don't just work for the platform, you live on it, you owe it, and you can never leave? That's next time on Future Frame.